South Yemen. So I give the floor to Mr. Baban Eliassi.
Thank you, Chair President. Thank you, dear participant. My name is Baban Eliassi. I am a Kurd from Iran. I will talk about the situations of the Kurds in Iran, in Iraq, in Turkey, and in Syria. So I have a PowerPoint in case you I can put some information on the PowerPoint, and you can follow the information over there. As a Kurds estimation about the number of the Kurds is about 30 or 35 million. Some Kurdish nationalists are talking about 45 or 50 million Kurds. So we have 15 million Kurds in Turkey. We have 10 million Kurds in Iran. 2 million Kurds are in Syria. And the only precise information we have is about the Kurds in Iraq, because they have a kind of federalism. So we can have a precise information, because the other countries where the Kurds are living, they don't give precise information about the number of the Kurds in the Kurds. That is the political position. They don't give the exact numbers of the Kurds. So, who are the Kurds? The Kurds, the majority of the Kurds are Sunnis religions, and there are also other religions in Kurdistan, like Yazidis, like Christians, like Jews, etc. Linguistically, the Kurds are different from other minority people in the region. So the Kurds in the Middle East are the fourth people in the Middle East, and they are without a recognized state. I put there a map of Kurdistan. There are Kurds in Iran, there are Kurds in Turkey, there are Kurds in Iraq, and there are Kurds in Syria. And at present, the Kurds are in the middle of the turbulence in the region. I can tell that in each part of Kurdistan, the population, the Kurdish demands for autonomy or for federalism or for independence are different. So about the Kurds in Iraq, I can tell that now they have a federal system, but for many reasons, the situation is tense with the central government in Baghdad, and more the Kurds are in Iraq are looking for other way of relations with Baghdad, or even there are talks about declaring independence in Iraq for Kurdistan. An informal or unofficial referendum in Kurdistan, it was about 2013, that about more than 90% of the Kurds, they were for the independence of Kurdistan Iraqi. And the Kurds in Iraq, they suffered all kind of atrocities. They were poisoned by gas attacks by the Iraqi Ba'ath government. Tens of thousands of Kurds were exterminated, and there was a policy of changing the demographic composition of Kurdistan by the Ba'ath party. So if I talk about this element, it is because what are the criteria that a people can ask for independence or self-determination? This is another picture of in Halabja. Halabja is a city in Iraqi Kurdistan. It was gassed by the Iraqi government, and over there more than 5,000 Kurd civilians were exterminated. There are also Kurds in Iran, about 10 million in Iran. Their political program is that they are looking for a kind of federalism. Why federalism? Because in Iran there are other nationalities like Arabs, like Azeris, like Turkmen. So the Kurds, the majority of Kurdish parties in Iran, they ask for a kind of federalism because Iran is a multi-cultural, multinational society. I put this picture, why? Because I can say the policy of non-violence by the minorities, it doesn't mean that the central government will accept to give civil or cultural or linguistic rights. The Kurds in Iran during 20 years, they were waiting to see if there are gesture or any moves by the central government to give them a kind of cultural or linguistic rights, but this was not done, and the Kurds, so sometimes the policies of central government pushes the minorities to go toward violence. If this is the case, and the Kurds are in Iran, they are talking about going to take arm and to fight for obtain their national or cultural rights. There are also Kurds in Turkey that until recently their rights were denied, even if the Kurds were qualified as mountain Kurds, mountain Turks. It means that there was no Kurds, but the Kurds who say they are Kurds, they are Turks, but they are from mountain. So this is when we are talking about the Kurds in Turkey, we can talk about at least 20 million Kurds in Turkey. And this is recently in some 1 year, so even not 1 year ago, this is a town, city in Turkey, in southeast of Turkey, and we didn't hear so much about this situation in Turkey. That a total city was destroyed by the Turkish army. There are also Syrian Kurds that today we talk about so much about the Kurds in the city, and we can talk about at least 500,000 of Kurds in Syria. They were denied citizenship, and in some minutes ago I spoke with a person from Syria. He is a Kurd. He has many problems in Switzerland because he has not a Syrian passport or identity. This is Kobani. It is Peshmerga or guerrilla in Syria. We saw that how much the atrocities the Kurds in Syria they faced during this period, and why I go to finish my presentation because I know that the time is limited. Why the Kurds they don't have an state? Because they are about 35 million, about 40 million, and at the same time we see some countries they are about 100,000 population, and they have their own state. While the Kurds, they don't have, because of some unjust and injustice, a lack of justice by the international powers, especially when after the First World War, they divided the region in Middle East. The Kurds one of these people. They suffered from these divisions, and they don't have, even if they were given, they were promised to have their own state, but later it was refused. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baban. As you just mentioned, Iran is a multi-ethnic society. So we have a representative from one of the peoples living inside Iranian borders, the Hazawi people. And so Dr. Abdin, you have the
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for the audience. My name is Karim Abdian. I am an Ahwazi Arab in Iran. I would first, I would talk about our people and then how the rights of self-determination would mean as a preventive measure, as a crisis management measure for one nationality that may be extended to the other ethnic nationalities in Iran as well. A quick glance at the current crisis spots in the Middle East invariably shows that the cause of all the problems lay in the disenfranchisement, marginalization, oppression, and exclusion of non-dominant nationalities. It's true in Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, Turkey, and certainly in Iran. I believe a looming crisis is in the horizon in Iran.